entering the 2-on-1. The way I'm going to do this for the entry into the technique is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of freedom here. Okay, we're going to play a few situational games, and you're going to just kind of discover what works for you. And then after that, I'm going to give you some finer detail points. I'm going to show you the end product. Okay, I want 2 of my hands on 1 arm. What I really like to do here, you'll notice our thumbs are pointing in the same direction. So I have this grip. This grip is not wrong. I just find it harder to manipulate and control the arm. So if you're in a competition, you have this, don't be like, I can't use that. Still use it. What's effective is effective. But I personally find this grip here where our thumbs match to be more effective. So I have control of the wrist. I have control of the shoulder. And I'm going to do that in 2 ways. I'm going to vice grip my shoulder right behind his shoulder. Think of like a bolt securing our shoulders together. So wherever my shoulder moves, so does his. Okay? So my hand here, I want it kind of cupping right at the top of the bicep, middle part of the deltoid, and I'm just actively pulling this in here. Okay? Now, I don't really care about foot position at this point. We're going to talk about the specifics of that later. What I want you guys just to do is secure this, and then secure forehead to the temple. Okay? If Rob has forehead to my temple, this is a problem for me that we're going to address later when they do this. But I want you guys in this game to try and secure forehead to the temple or the jaw. Okay, so this is the end point you're going for in this game. Where we're going to start in the first one is Rob's going to control one of my wrists, and I'm going to control one of his wrists, and then when I say go, we're both battling to get to that end point. However you do it, that's fine. Just, headbutt him or something like that, but within the rules of grappling, get to that end point of the 2-on-1. We're going to start here. One wrist, one wrist. Okay, makes sense? Okay, 1, 2. We're going to look at a shoulder post. Okay, so I have a shoulder post, Rob has a shoulder post. You can put your other arm on the arm if you want. And we're going to look to get a 2-on-1 from here. Again, I'm not giving you the answer yet. Okay, I want you guys to think about what you would do to get to our end point of our 2-on-1. Okay, so one hand on the shoulder. You don't know the answer. Okay, one hand on the shoulder, other hand on the shoulder, and you move from here to get to our end point. Okay, 1, 2. Entry to this position from a collar tie. Okay, so I have a collar tie, Rob has a collar tie. Now, an important distinction here is we're not going to go ear to ear in this position. Okay, this is a classic beginner move where you just show everyone who knows like you're a beginner. This stifles your offense. Don't do this. If you ever find yourself in a double collar tie, go forward to forward. Okay, this allows you to create space and to move. Whereas if we go here and we walk ears, here, now I'm like stuck in the I can't get out of here. It's like a death trap. It's like 50-50 from the feet, essentially. Okay? So don't go there unless you want to really specialize in that. But even still, forehead to forehead is superior. So from here, we each have a collar tie, forehead to forehead. We're both going for the 2-on-1. Okay? We're gonna just kind of connect with you more, and that's okay. Kind of you can pick to that. But also realize if you're in competition mode, or in competition, I should say, you're not always going to get the preferred reaction. So I recommend having a method for all 3 of those positions that's just going to increase your chance of getting the 2-on-1. So if we're in that wrist control position, okay, whether he just even with single grip, whether he has a grip on my wrist or I have a grip on his wrist, it doesn't really matter. Okay, what I can do from here, I'm going to grab his wrist if he has a wrist grip. I'm going to bring my elbow to his elbow, and what that's going to do is force my hand with leverage out of the weak point of his grip. So I need to make sure I'm holding onto his wrist, and then my elbow coming to his elbow. He's pretty strong, but I'm just using leverage, and it's pretty easy to get that way. So, and now from here, I'm weaving to the outside. Now, if I find my hand here, I would just simply turn if I can. If I feel like I can't, I need to move this around a little bit, and I'm doing it from the okay? So that's from the wrist. Now, if I have his wrist, then it's obviously a little bit different. Then I'd be passing this grip off and then going to my 2-on-1. Okay? Now, when we have our shoulder post. Now, a shoulder post is different than a collar tie. Okay? He's on my neck here versus he's just like keeping my shoulder away so I can't get there. What I like to do, okay, I'm going to use my same side hand initially with my thumb and fingers up. Okay? Look at the difference. This to this. Okay, so it's this way, not that way. Okay? I'm going to pop his hand off a little bit, and the moment I do that, this hand's going to come and collect. And I kind of have like a baseball grip here, and I'm going to pull it across. Now from here, the hand that's on top of his wrist slides up and goes to the shoulder. thumb around the wrist, and now we're into that position. Now on a collar tie, okay, this can be a really difficult grip to get rid of. What I'm going to be doing is using rotation of my core to weaken his arm. I need to secure his hand in place first. Okay, so this crown is going to come across. I'm going to kind of pull his wrist into my collarbone. Now, I want to turn my head to make sure I'm looking at him, and then this shoulder is going to raise up, and already that two things weaken the grip. It's still on my neck, but it's not the strength that it used to be. Now the core rotation, so think like swinging a golf club, baseball bat, etc. Okay, breaks the grip completely, and now I slide my shoulder up the tricep, and I secure up the arm. Okay, so one more time. I secure that grip here, so he can't retract his hand when he wants. It's stuck there. I look, I raise my shoulder up, and then I rotate, and then I slide up the arm. Okay, so those are going to be our three common entry points. Now we have our 2-on-1. What do we do? Okay, I want right off the bat, the fundamental thing I want you guys looking for is a dilemma between two things. Dilemma one, or option one of our dilemma, is pulling our partner down to the mat. Okay. Dilemma two, if he doesn't want to be pulled down, what's he likely going to do? He's going to stand up. That's good for me too. So I want him to play between that. I'm controlling his posture. So I can simply, if I want to like step my foot wide and bring that hand down, fantastic. Okay, or if he's like giving me more defense, I might need to curl here and I need to move and bring him down. That's fine too. Okay, or option two, if he stands up, now I'm going to look to do different attacks with my feet that we're going to really explore a little bit here. What I want you guys to focus on right now, once we have our 2-on-1, we're going to create a bit of a counter reaction. So we know in jiu-jitsu, if I push in, he's not, yeah, there we go. So he just naturally bases and pushes back into me. So I want to feel that reaction, and I'm going to use that to aid my hand post here. Okay. Now from here, because we're doing jiu-jitsu, we want to secure the back. So what I'm going to be doing, this hand is going to transfer from his wrist, and I'm going to go like a shallow, think arm drag. I'm connecting to his shoulder here. Okay. This hand swims across to that far left. Okay. Now you'll notice my knee position here. I instinctively have my knee here. If I leave it here, this would be excellent for something like crucifix. But if I want the back, then I need to switch my knees. So this outside knee comes into that position. Now from here, I need to glue my chest to his back. One of the ways I do this is by collecting my seatbelt. And you notice my hands are just naturally in that position from what I did earlier. Okay. Now, let's just spin a second. What I like to do from this position when I have my seatbelt and my knee is wedged in between his knee and elbow, very important to have that knee there, I'm going to swing this leg over the ankle. Okay? As I do that, I'm going to backslide my heel to turn that hip from by turning his ankle. Okay, so I have chest to back connection. I have my seatbelt grip. I step my foot over. Now I drag, and now I'm going to pull him, and I'm going to make sure my knee stays on the ground. And now he's floating on my hip. Now this makes it easy for me to pummel this leg in. And then what I like to do at this point, this foot here, post on the ground, I shrimp. So I reset. Now I have alignment at the hips, alignment at the shoulder line, and now I can pummel this hook in. I can hand fight and work for my strangles if I need to. Okay? But I want you to just focus on positional here. This is very, very high percentage. It looks kind of basic, but this will win you matches in jiu-jitsu or be very dominant in like an open mat setting. Okay, so one more time. However I go, you guys can set up your 2-on-1 however you want. I just want you to get to that end point in a way that makes sense. Okay, we're going to push in a little bit. As they push back, I'm guiding that hand down. I'm gluing that wrist to the mat. Okay, from here, I switch my hand on the wrist to that shallow drag just right on that shoulder. Okay, my shoulder stays down. I swim my arm over. Okay, as I switch my knee position, I get that chest on back connection with my seatbelt. From here, this foot drags over the ankle, and I pull backwards. As I start to pull. Okay, I pummel this bottom leg in. I use this foot to shrimp. Okay, now I have hip connection, squareness, and I have chest to back connection, squareness. Okay, at that point, I pummel this leg in. I would be looking to hand fight simultaneously to clear his defenses so I can get my strangle. Okay, does that make sense? Less focus on the strangle, more focus on the 2-on-1, securing a square back control. Okay, 1, 2, always plan. And our opponents give us, novel barriers that we have to figure out. That's jiu-jitsu, right? That's the fun. So we're going to go through that same sequence. We're going to go through this fundamental pathway I really want you guys to know. So I push in, I get the arm post. But now, as I go to the back, Rob's like, you're not having my back. So he begins to circle away from me. Okay, that's going to happen a lot. Now, this angle I have is a dilemma for Rob. If he stays here, then I'm just going to take his back. If he goes away, let's just, spin this way. If he spins away, boom, I'm going to take the neck and the front headlock. Okay, and now from the front headlock, I have we could do a whole seminar just on the front headlock. I'm not going to talk about chokes today. You can sure do that, or they already probably know. But I want to talk about positional control from the front headlock. Okay, there's tons of front chokes, but we don't have 2 hours. Okay, so from here, when I have my front headlock, I want to have one hand stay on that tricep, and you'll notice my hand's already on the tricep here. Okay, so I wouldn't be switching to my drag and stay here on my 2-on-1 as he pivots around. Okay, that hand that's on the tricep stays on the tricep. My hand that was on the wrist, I'm going to look to cup his chin, kind of similar to a chin strap. And then my hand, the shoulder that's on that same side as my hand cupping the chin, that shoulder is going to cover kind of the base of the neck, right in between the shoulder blades. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm not laying on my knees, because then I'm going to be carrying my weight, or the mat's going to carry it rather than my partner. So he circles, I cup the chin, I switch my shoulder, and I get off my knees. Okay? And now from here, I can start to drive in, okay? And I can put a lot of pressure. Okay? That allows me a lot of positional control. When I have the 2 points of contact, I control the shoulder line, and I have a really good ability to control his movement. It's hard, not impossible, but it's hard for Rob to stand up from this position, because I can just keep breaking him down and move. And then I can go back to my back if I want to. That position is very common in wrestling, and in my opinion, underutilized in jiu-jitsu. Okay? One of the things I like to do in wrestling from this position is called a cradle. And we're going to look at that and how it applies to jiu-jitsu. Because of different mechanics or different purposes with these mechanics for different sports. So I'm going to show, let's see there, I'm going to show towards you guys so you can see, and I can show the opposite way so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. So I have the chin, I have the tricep, I have shoulder position, and I have my knees off the ground. What I'm going to be looking to do is create that angle that I had, and then my hand that's on the tricep is going to secure to his leg like this. Okay, I'm just going to do it on the other side so you guys can see. Now, once I secure to the leg, I'm going to look to drive to get my hands locked and his knee compressed up to his shoulders. Okay, you guys can see hopefully. From here, I'm going to drive forward and break him down to his hip. Okay, and now I have him in this kind of like awkward, like fetal position, turtle type thing, where he's stuck, he's under my lock, I have weight and pressure on him. Okay, if I want a simple pass in jiu-jitsu, I'm going to unlock my hands, pull his knee, and get right into side control from here, solidifying this position and being tight and strong on top. So very, very simple. From this front headlock turtle position, I hit my ankle, I lock my hands, I drive, I let go of the leg, boom, I just pass his guard. Cool. That's the basic stuff we can do. Okay, another option. When we're here, I hit my ankle, I hit my cradle, I drive. Now let's say I want to end the match. Rather than swinging this elbow over the body, I start to swing my elbow under his neck. Okay, from here. Let's just spin. Okay, and this is one of our front chokes. Okay, from here, this elbow comes in tight. My hand comes up. My hand that was on his chin comes down. This is our darce, sorry. And from here, I'm going to look to lower my shoulder. Hug, get the tap. Okay, so let's go from the beginning so you guys can see. So here, we're gonna stop at those 2 options. You guys can practice that. I'm pushing in. he pushes back. I pull. From here, he doesn't want me to take his back, so he circles right into my front headlock. At which point, okay, let's just cross over here. I go, I grab the leg, I drive. If I want top position, I let go with this elbow over the back, and I just get my guard pass. And I stay here. Okay? Or, if I want to get the choke, I can go to my darce from this position. Rather than elbow going over the back, it goes under his neck. Okay? Then I feed here, get my darce, turn, drop my hip, and get the back. Okay? If you need any adjustments on some of the finer details of the darce, I'll be happy to come around and help you guys out. 1, 2, 4. Again, I just want to show one more thing here. This is a fun position that I feel is underutilized in Jiu Jitsu. I'm talking about the cradle specifically. So let's just go down for a second. So you guys are all doing an excellent job of getting here. You have, I'm just reviewing here, we're reiterating this. We have more than one attack on the neck here. We have our anacondas, we have our darces, we have a whole bunch of different variations of guillotines. It's going to be up to you guys to blend in what makes sense for you for this position. Okay, because it could be different than me, and we're all different, and that's fine. We have shoulder line attacks from a cradle. We also have hip line attacks from a cradle. I just want to show you one option, but kind of a basic option. There's also bear and boulder type stuff I'm not going to go over today, but one option from here. When I get my cradle, I'm calling this a near side cradle. That's how I coach like my wrestling athletes about it. And then the difference would be here, he's on this hip, this is a far side cradle. I call it that way when I coach because I'm reaching across the body for the cradle versus reaching to the near side. So just to put a distinction between the two styles. Okay. On my near side cradle, I have my hands locked and drive. I break him down to his hip. He's not stable here anymore. My hands are going to stay locked. Now I'm going to use my leg nearest his leg. I'm going to hook over his leg. Let's just spin a second. Maybe. That way. I'm going to use my leg that's nearest his leg, and I'm going to hook, and then I'm going to drag backwards, like this. Okay, so now I have his head and his leg trapped between my arms, and I have his leg trapped by my leg. Okay. From here, what I want to do is hover a little bit so I can get this leg a shin staple over his knee. You guys see this? One more time. So here, I hook. I drag the knees on the ground, I hover, I shin staple. Okay, you guys see that? Now from here, I'm going to shin staple this leg with my other leg. I'm going to have to let go of the leg with this hand, but I'm still going to keep the chin strap with my other hand. So this is what the sequence looks like. Hook, drag, shin staple, hand on the head. Okay, one more from another angle. Okay, hook, drag, shin staple, hand on the hip. I still have my hand on the chin. Now from here, I'm going to put weight into this knee, and I'm going to pull his shoulder in this direction. So my hand goes from the chin and hooks to the shoulder. Okay, and then from here, my weight's in the knee, I pull the shoulder, and then I'm also going to slightly extend this leg this way. This is a very fun, lazy back attack. And now I've created lower back exposure, upper back exposure, and now I just scoop right in to the back. So one more time. In my cradle. Okay, I hook my leg over the leg, I drive it in the back. Staple, hook the hip. I can chill out here. Okay, I'm being nice, but you can put a lot of pressure here. From here, I am, if this arm is here, I'll be clearing this arm out of the way. Okay, I'm pulling this shoulder and driving this knee, and now I'm creating an extension here with my toes. This is going to shoot under the head. My knee is going to shoot up the back. Now I have my back attack from my cradle. So this is one option for back attack. It's kind of the lazier way. I like it. Okay? But what I want you guys to start to think about is there's multiple entries to the back from the cradle. So either cradle you have, there's multiple entries to the back. So think cradle, back attack. Combine those two. Most people don't do this. Okay, so you guys want to see that one more time? Okay. Okay. So let's go this way. So I have my cradle, near side cradle. I bump him over. He's controlled under my grip. I step, I drag, I drop my knee. This keeps me safe from leg entanglements. If I get lazy here, I could get bumped here. This is a problem. I don't want to go there. So I drop my knee and I pull it back. My leg is safe here. I staple, I staple. This hand comes to the hip. From here, I can cross these if I want to, but I'm like exposing that upper back. Drive this knee up, get under the neck. As I sit, I'm right into my back attack, controlling that grip, hand fighting. I can go to triangles here, I have options. But this is an excellent position for me, bad position for him. Okay, make sense? So, focus on the cradle, work systematically to the back, and then when you're on the back, have some fun. Go to a submission that makes sense.
No, I just want to show you. So I don't know, right? So see how high my knee is this turn. My knee is to my nose here, right?
Yeah,
this is high, right? This leg is at if he's lazy down here, I have way more movement.
If I go like this and I'm going,
exactly, I'm coming up to like octopus guard and all this stuff.
It's no good.
He's hooked on my calf and he's really screwed with my mobility here. My knee's glued to my nose. This sucks, right? This leg is out of it. This is tight. This is tight, right? Then I can't do anything else.
Thank you. Great. I want his back. Okay? Makes sense? Give it a shot, and I'll come around and help you if you need it. 1, 2, 4. Right, so that's going to be a common reaction here, and we're going to play right off that common reaction. We're going to take an outside foot position and step behind my partner's foot. Okay, now from here, I'm going to go into a single leg. I really like single legs in Jiu-Jitsu because generally if you do it well, you protect your neck. Whereas if you do a double leg or a high crotch, you put your neck in a vulnerable position. There's counters to those attacks, but I like to bypass that if I can. So that's where I like to go single leg. Okay, so from here, I'm going to lower my elevation at my knees. My hand that's on the shoulder is going to go down, and then I'm going to lock behind or reach behind the leg. Okay? From here, I'd be clearing that arm right away, getting my shoulder pressure in place. And then this hand, you can see, is a critical detail here. My hand that's in front of the knee is underneath my hand behind the knee. Okay, like so. Okay? I don't really care if you go S-grip, palm to palm, palm to wrist, palm to elbow if you got really long arms. It doesn't really matter, but it is important that this hand behind is in front, or sorry, on top of. If I switch the other way and Rob grabs my wrist and pulls up, now this becomes a vulnerability for me. He could reach over my back in Kimura. This is a problem for me. Okay, I eliminate those problems, or at least reduce them significantly going this way. As he pulls up, it just strengthens my grip. Okay, so a little detail here that's going to have a big impact on your single leg. Now, the single leg, I'm lifting one leg off the ground, and now he still has 1 foot for base. So I have to always be thinking, how am I going to attack that far leg? Okay. The simple way I like to do that right off the bat is, first of all, I'm going to set my foot position so all of our toes are pointing in the same direction. That's a subtle thing that's going to help protect my neck. Some people, I've seen them teach it where they go like this and they pinch. Look what he just did. Easily for him to face me and start toe pizza. That's no good. But look at my foot position. If I point in the same toe, if I point all of our toes in the same direction, and then I put a little bit of shoulder pressure on the hip, he's not on balance anymore. And if he goes to reach for my neck, it makes it really problematic. See, he just loses his balance.
Yeah, see the push
I
there?
can't do the same thing from here. Okay? I can trap his leg so he can't get his leg back, but it's hard to off balance him. Okay? He can start messing with my head. I switch. I put proper shoulder pressure, pushing down, much the same way I would in side control. And now this is an unstable structure for my opponent. Okay, he's holding on to me for balance, and as I shift my weight, this is really hard for him. Now the simplest way to get him down is to move my feet. A way I might do this is circling in front of him. Okay, and now I end up right here. You'll notice I like to go to half guard, and I'm covering my head across his hip. Okay? This allows me to control the hip line, and then I can move into other passes. This is one option, a basic option for my single leg. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys two options. You guys can decide what you want to do. So here, foot alignment, shoulder pressure, move my feet. Elbow to half. Okay? Number two, when I'm in this position, okay, there's other ways I can finish this. One of the ways I like to finish this, sometimes I call this the super single. I'm going to use my hand that's in front of his leg, and I'm going to like scoop really super deep. So I'm trying to get like my elbow to his hamstring. It's kind of like I uppercutted someone like behind him, like a troll or something like that. Do that, okay? I scoop deep. Now my other hand is going to fire to that far hip. So scoop, and then this hand comes to the hip. Now from here, if his legs are in between, like he would have kind of like a knee, like he would have like a position I wouldn't want him to have when we land on the ground. So I'm gonna back step. Now I have his leg stacked up on my hip right here. The simplest thing I can do here is accelerate forward. I may need to kick his foot out, but I might not. Okay, and then from here when we land, I want to make sure I'm covering this hip with my shoulder. Okay, getting into a leg drag position. I still have my hand under on his hip. Okay, this is a critical control point because then when I want to take it back, I can lift that hip up and insert my foot. Okay, so one more time. Basic finishes for a single. Option one, foot position, shoulder position, move our feet. Option two, punch the troll behind you, grab the far hip, get our leg out of the way, accelerate. Land in a knee cut, leg drag rather, and then I'm going to lift that hip if I have to, insert, now I'm right on the back. Okay, give that a shot for now, and we'll add stuff to it afterwards. 1, 2. Defensive barriers that our partners are going to put in our place. Okay, you can go there if you want. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so, yeah, no, that's great. So this is a very common one. This is one of the ways that got nice ears in wrestling. Okay, if this happens, there's more than one way to deal with this. The most effective way I've ever seen to deal with this is to do an uchi mara. So what that means is I'm going to use my knee, or sorry, not my knee, my leg that's closest to his leg, and I'm going to kick and sweep this leg out. Now, I don't want to do it like this. I'm going to turn my toes away from him, and then I'm going to sweep up. Okay? Uchimata forces his hand off of my head. So if I just stay here, and this is super annoying if he really starts to post. But then I go there, that hand's going to come off. Okay? Now, from that position, typically with the 2-on-1, I combine our Uchimata and our Ko-Uchi-Gari. So here, and then I step right here. Okay? And if we pause this way, you can put your hand back on my head if you want. So 1, 2. Now, you'll notice from my weight distribution, I have most of my weight here on my left leg. If I shift my weight to my right leg, watch what that does to his base. Okay? So that's very, very subtle, very important. Uchimata, Ko-Uchi, weight shift. Okay, I'm bringing my shoulders and my chest over this leg. Now, I'm going to also combine that, go with the head, boom, boom. I'm also going to combine that with this hand doing a knee kick. If you got long arms, you could go ankle. I don't have long arms, so I typically go to the knee because, look, I can't reach. Okay, but for those of you who have it, use it. Okay, from here, that knee kick combined with that weight shift allows me to go down into a nice knee cut here, getting chest on chest, getting my underhook, getting my cross face, getting to a good top knee position. So all together. We got our 2-on-1. We got that pesky opponent who was like driving. It's like, this sucks. Okay. Uchi Mara from here. Boom, boom. Weight shift, knee block. Come on top. I'm going to get chest to chest. Okay, I don't have to rush this. I'm pinning this hip. So I get chest to chest. I get the head collected. I want some semblance of an underhook. And now I'm flattening and collecting here to get a nice, good hand. Okay, I stabilize here in Jiu-Jitsu. I don't want him to be able to move, roll, sweep me. I get on top, I sink, I'm heavy. Okay, makes sense? Because it's not judo, it's not wrestling. You need to be like stable. So, boom. Hand comes across. Oh, this sucks. Uchi, ko-uchi, drive, through, see. Okay? Give that one a shot. 1, 2. Now, we talked about the post on the head. Okay, another common reaction is they're going to start to fight this bottom hand. Okay, now, I want you to think of like early stage, late stage. If I have a solid 2-on-1 and he's grabbing that wrist, but I maintain contact here, okay, this is okay for me. I'm good here. Okay? What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to take the hand that's on the shoulder. As I step my foot to an outside foot position, I'm going to take this hand and hit the far hip. Because his preoccupation with my wrist, he just let me go right to his back. So if we're battling here, he's trying to strip this, right there. And now from here, I'm going to look to connect my hands, rear body lock. Whether or not I trap the arm is fine. Okay, I want to have, we're going to go into what's called a mat return. I want to make sure I have 1 foot in front of me, 1 foot behind me. If I stay square here, he has the ability to reach down and start doing like rolling knee bars, that sort of thing. That's a problem for me on address. So the way I address that is keeping this perpendicular motion, or not motion, you know, I'm facing his, my hips are facing him, his hips are facing that way, rather than I'm square behind him. Okay? So from here, I don't have that same threat to my legs. What I'm going to look to do, I'm going to get shoulder position on the shoulder, and I'm going to get elbow position on the hip. My elbow position lifts the hip up, my shoulder position pushes the shoulder down. So I'm forcing him into a shoulder roll type motion. So here, I have that wrist, I go behind, I get my rear body lock, I get my shoulder position setting down, I get my elbow position coming up. I'm going to use a spring-like motion with my legs to help me swing out his legs in the direction towards the wall. And then go down. Okay, now from here, I can start to do hand fighting kind of action where I control the wrist, get this elbow above the shoulder, and we're right back to where we started at, taking it back. Okay? I'm not going to go into those details yet. So here, grab that wrist. If it's early stage, I'm going to go hand on the hip, step behind, rear body lock, and then okay? Right here in the back.
Who's controlling? You see how if you pop the hips high, they go ass over teeth
Oh,
down?
yeah.
I don't want their head to be accelerating it, right? Just control.
Yes. Okay? Now, option 2. He's so quick with that, boom, he clears that right off the bat. This is a problem. Okay? Often what's going to happen here is he's going to square up to me to face to control that wrist and create problems for me exactly what I saw. Okay, so as that squaring up process happens, I'm going to elevate my elbow and I'm going to duck that far side. And now guess what? I'm right back in the same position on the far side. So I have my shoulder position, I have my elbow position, I drive down, I spring up, I put them down, and now I climb, I take the back. Okay, so one more time. 2 options to the back from our wrist control, or our opponent's wrist control. They keep it there, this side. If they break it off, I'm going that side. Okay, I get to my rear body lock, my feet are perpendicular to his feet. Okay, drive down, swing up, come down, attack the back in a way that makes sense for you. Okay? Questions about either of those pathways? One.
When he drives down, that's what's making my legs light, right? He's able to pop my legs out so easy because he's forcing my weight down here, right? It's taking so I don't want to be standing straight up and trying to deadlift, right?
It's not this. Not this.
Yeah, not weight up like a pendulum. He's breaking me down and it's easy, right? So get that twist and then pop it, right?
Okay? Any of you have ever done wrestling? It's like a gut wrench. Very similar. 1, 2. In the 2-on-1, and this is actually the best defense in nudge if you're looking to defend this position, is they begin to peel away this top hand and pull it off of the arm. Right? My 2-on-1 requires me to have 2 connection points in one arm. Okay? So as this top hand peels, the critical thing I need to do here, I guess I could step If this leg is near, I'm going to go right into my single leg, something we've already done before. If that leg is far away, so slip that leg back. Yeah, and he pulls. Now this hand is going to travel to like a snap down collar tie grip. Okay? And what I want to do is I want to pull this hand across his body and then snap his chin towards his elbow. What that's going to allow me to do is catch it like this, and then guess what? I go back to my tricep grip, and all I need to do here is a little bit of a sprawl, and now I'm back to my front headlock position that we were at already. Okay, so one more time. I have that 2-on-1. He begins to peel that away, transfers to the neck. I want to bring this in front so I can snap and catch. See the hand that was on the wrist? Catches the chin. Snap, catch, pull down. Right, I'm right cradle ready right now. Okay, one more time. Maybe a little quicker so you guys can see realism here. He pulls that top hand. There. There. I'm right ready to go. Okay, so there's a timing importance here. I can't be like here, he pulls that hand away, and I'm like, oh yeah, hand on the, it's too late. It needs to be immediate. There, catch, pull down. Take my angle to attack back, crucifix, cradle, lots of options here. Questions on that? Okay, go through that maybe slowly at first, and then begin to pick up the speed to make it a little